welcome to Jacklit Educational Channel. So in this video we are going to discuss one of the very important topic, that is air quality monitoring and testing. So this is very important related to air pollution and you must see the video to know about the techniques and sampling procedure related to air pollution. So let's start today's video. First of all, why we need to do air sampling? There are certain very important points to know because why we are doing air sampling. Number one is, by doing air sampling we will be able to identify and measure the air pollutants present in the atmosphere. Next point is to monitor personal exposure to chemicals. So we'll get to know what are the important and harmful chemicals which are surrounding ourselves. Next is air pollution sampling is done to assess the environmental impact of the manufacturing process. So most of the air pollution technique, that is sampling, is done from the manufacturing unit because to know whether that industry or factory is generating any toxic air pollutant out of the limit. Next is to comply with the government regulation. So this is related to this point because government has certain regulation for the manufacturing industries as well as the household to control the amount of air pollutant released in the atmosphere. So that should be regulated. For that also air sampling technique is performed by the Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Board. Next is to identify the source of the pollutants. So you will be taking the air samples and you will be getting carbon monoxide, you will be getting pollutants such as particulate matter, but you should know where from this source of the pollutant is coming from. So if you are knowing what is the source of the pollutants, you will be able to control it many effectively. Next point is to evaluate the effectiveness of engineering controls. So what are these engineering controls? For example, ventilation. Yes, in our houses and offices or factories, we have skylabs and window mesh. So whether they are effectively controlling the air pollutants, that we have to check through the air sampling technique. So these are certain things which we should note. So we know why we are doing air sampling. What is air sampling? So air sampling is a means of collecting contaminants that are present in the air to identify and quantify the concentration of the contaminants. So in our atmosphere there are certain contaminants revolving around us. To know whether they are in the limit and what is their concentration, we have to do the air sampling, that is the collection of the contaminants. Next is, typically we need to concentrate the contaminants with some sort of media. Yes, directly some of the contaminants we can't take for air sampling, we should add, that means we should mix with certain media that can be liquid or gel media to know the contaminants present in the atmosphere. Next is, the exception is when we take whole air sample. If you want to know what are the whole component of the atmosphere, we are not considering this concentration technique or concentration step. So this concentration step takes place in the lab when we are considering whole air sample. That means we have to know all the components present in the air. Next is, what are the concentration measured? So concentration of the air pollutants are calculated in either dimensionless terms, that means in ppm, that is parts per million, or parts per billion. And we should know that concentration are also calculated in mass per volume, that is in terms of microgram per meter cube or milligram per meter cube. Meter cube means it is telling the volume of the region where they are present. Let's move to the next slide. The next slide is where to monitor. So where we should monitor this air pollutant. So there are certain areas where we need to monitor. First is industrial hygiene. To check the hygiene of the industries in the occupational workplace, we need to monitor the air quality. Next is ambient. So most of us would have heard this ambient air quality. So what is this term ambient mean? Ambient means typically refers to the outdoor air. So it is not considering the indoor, that inside the industry, inside the home. So it is considering the outdoor air, that is atmospheric air surrounding us. Next is source. So to need the how to know whether these industries or motor vehicles or vapors are releasing what source and what kind of contaminants, we need to monitor from the smoke, that is the blue model you can say. From there we should monitor. Next is product emission from the furniture, that is coming from the indoor air pollutants, and flavor and fragrances as well as the deodorants which were used are also having the harmful air pollutants. So there also we should monitor. Next is national security. So this is coming for the chemical agents, explosive, and airport screening also considers this air pollution monitoring technique. Next, coming to the healthcare, that is anesthetic gases or cancer screening also in healthcare unit is required to monitor the air pollutants. Let's move to the next slide. The next slide is what are the typical air sampling workflows. There are 3 steps you should know, they are very important. First of all, it is sample collection. Next is sample extraction. Next is sample analysis. So what is the sample collection? So in air more amount of air pollutants will be there. So we need to collect them. How to collect? We should collect them using sampling bags, using sorbent tubes. So these things we are going to discuss in the later on in our video. So first of all, we have to collect all this. Then what we have to do? We have to take it to the experimental lab. So where we have to do sample extraction. So from these particles, from these materials, that is sorbent tube, from sampling bags, we need to extract the air contaminants which we need to analyze. So they can be glasswares, solvents are used to extract, and other solutions such as ATIS, spiking solutions are used to extract the our need which is needed for our sampling from the total sample collected. Next is the analysis. So we have extracted the sample. Now we have to analyze through the help of columns, standard techniques and instrument to know what is their concentration and what are their health effect which can cause if they are not controlled at that time. Let's move on to the next slide. The next thing which we are going to discuss is about the commonly sampled air contaminants. So what are the common sample we are doing? So for ambient air, that is for the outside air, that is atmospheric air, outdoor air, we are sampling about the particulates, that is particulate matter 2.5 less than and particulate matter less than 10. Next is coming BTEX. So BTEX most of the students would have heard for the first time. I will tell you, this is the composition of benzene, toluene, ethyl benzene and xylene. So it is all together called as BTEX, you should note that, and volatile organic compounds. Next ambient air qualities contaminants which we are sampling is pesticide, polyaromatic hydrocarbons and PCBs, ozone, carbonyls, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and lead are also coming under the air contaminants of ambient air. Next, coming into the indoor air contaminants which we are sampling, that is also considering BTEX, that is benzene, toluene, ethyl benzene and xylene, which I told, along with the volatile organic compounds, carbonyls group, hydrogen sulfide, isocyanates, acid vapors, that is from the industries indoor air, and next is metals, that is constituting of lead, cadmium, hexavalent chromium. So all together actually 400 kinds of contaminants are sampled with the help of the air monitoring technique. So don't get confused that these are outdoor air pollutants and these are indoor air pollutants. These are the pollutants which are sampled through the air pollution controlling technique. So these are not outdoor and indoor pollutants. So if you want to know more about indoor outdoor pollutants, their different varieties, how they are treated, already I have made 2 videos on that. So you can check the link given in the description below. So let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is what are we sampling? So are we sampling people or places? So what are these people or sampling or places sampling? So for personal sampling there is a technique in which the techniques, that is we are using instrument attached to the body of the person. So for example, you should know that how much a person is breathing and what a contaminant the person is breathing. We are using certain equipments attached to the body of the person in the breathing zone. So breathing zone close to the mouth, it is attached. Whether it is working in industries or factories, you should know what is the contaminant he or she is inhaling and how much he is exposed to that contaminant. So this is called as personal sampling. But if we are doing area sampling, that means for a certain area we have to sample, then we have to fix certain equipment using fence line monitoring, using evaluating engineering control techniques and smokestacks technique. So it can be also high volume air samplers you are using to know the area and the constituent contaminants present in the area. So we'll know about that volume sampling and all this in the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is what is the time period of a sampling for air contaminants. So how long to sample? For if we are doing grab sampling, then it should be around 1 minute. And if we are doing STEL sampling, that is short term exposure limit, then it is having the time, that is the standard time of 15-minute exposure. If we are doing time weighted average sampling, it should be 8 hours of exposure. That means that personal sampling which we were discussing in the last slide, that if you want to know how much the person is inhaling, if he is or she is present in the industrial or any other contaminated zone, so it should be of around 8 hour exposure. Then comes risk assessment. So if we want to know the risk assessment of the contaminant present in the air, we should do for 24 hours. And then is the assessing of real-time air pollutant. So what is this? This is called as continuous sampling. So throughout the year, every time we should monitor for real-time monitoring. That means, for example, you know that Keeling curve of carbon dioxide is the best example, which the observatory situated at Maunalawa is continuously monitoring the carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere. So that will be called as real-time sampling, that is continuous sampling. So I hope you are clear with that. Let's move on to the next slide. Next we will see what are the three important factors when we are doing air sampling. So these are sampling rate, sampling time and sample volume. So sampling rate is what? So for example, if we assume this is the chimney of a factory and the smokes are coming out from the chimney. So at what rate these contaminants are transferred into the air, that is known as sampling rate. So what is the speed of these contaminants? Next is sampling time. So how long of a sample do we need? So as we have discussed in the last slide, so for how long we have done the sampling. Next is sample volume. So to calculate the sample volume, there is a formula. You should note it down because it is very important. So sample volume is calculated by multiplying the sampling time along with the flow rate. So you should remember this one. And one more thing you should note it down, that if you are considering this sample volume, if sometime there is involvement of pressure and temperature. So you should note it down that sample volume is dependent on the temperature and pressure during the sampling. So correction is normally required, but if it is not given the pressure and temperature, then you can apply this formula. Next we will go on and see the next slide, where we are discussing about the what hazards, that is what analytes are we going to sample. So they are two kinds of what we can't see and what we can see. So gases and vapor we can't see. So for that we are using adsorb techniques, such as adsorbent are used such as charcoal, silica gel, porous polymer or synthetic carbons. So with the help of this we are able to trap these kind of analyte, these kind of contaminants, and then we are able to analyze them. Next sampling is for the aerosol and particles. So these are typically trapped using a filter media or liquid media. So with the help of filter paper or liquid media, we are able to trap those. No need of using any adsorbent because they are visible. So you can see in this picture, with the help of filter paper, different kinds of contaminants are collected. Let's move to the next slide. Next slide we will discuss about active sampling and passive sampling. So you will be knowing active remote sensing and passive remote sensing. Similarly, there are two kinds of sampling in air quality monitoring, that is passive and active. So first we will learn about passive sampling. So this passive sampling is the contaminated air enters the device by diffusing onto the adsorbent media inside the device. So our main thing is sampling. What is sampling? Sampling means we will collect the contaminant from the air, then we will analyze what is present in that air. So in this technique, that is passive sampling, the device which is collecting is having adsorbent media. That can be activated charcoal, that can be the gel. So in this technique, this adsorbent media is present inside the device which is collecting the sample in the atmosphere, from the atmosphere. So for example, this is the adsorbent bed present in the device which is collecting the air pollutant. For example, in the air pollutant such as oxygen or hydrogen or chemical which are present in the atmosphere, so these things are adsorbed on the surface of the device. So in this way they are sampled, they are collected. What is this active sampling? So in this active sampling there is no such adsorbent present. So directly from the air we are taking and injecting inside the sampling device with the help of pump. So this is the main difference between active and passive sampling. So in active sampling, directly the air is pulled, that is through the vacuum with the help of pump. But in case of the passive sampling, we are using adsorbent media. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is solution sampling. So there are two kinds of solution sampling with the help of impinger and bubbler. So what are the difference? So the impinger is having small hole, as you can see here. So in the glass tip there are small hole used to sample aerosols and particles. So this is very important. What are they are sampling? They are sampling aerosols and particles in the air. Next is bubbler. So bubbler, you can see here, it is having fritted glass. So as you can see, it is having fritted glass. The meaning of fritted is finely porous glass are present because they have to allow the particles to go and settle down. And here adsorber solution is placed in case of bubbler kind of sampling. So here what happens, this adsorbed the air pollutant present in the atmosphere with the help of inlet through this fritted glass. Then these are absorbed in the solution, and further we will analyze and see what are present in the air. Let's move to the next slide. Next slides are also examples of the devices or the process which we are going to collect the air sample, that is with the help of filters and cassettes. So these are the shapes of cassette, that means round they are shaped. They are made up of different materials, that can be PVC, cellulose ester, PTFE or glass fiber. So these are made up of different particles and different materials. So these are used to absorb the air pollutant. You can see they are filters and cassettes. So these are the examples of the sampling. Next is the whole air sampler. So what are these whole air sampler? So these are very useful because they are used to sample compounds which cannot be trapped or concentrated. So what are these kind of compounds? This can be methane or carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide and methane are sampled or collected with the help of whole air samplers. So don't worry, we will discuss about these techniques, what are these packets and all. So the very important thing is air sampling bag technique. So what are this technique? So in this case a bag is used, that is air bag is used, where it is having an inlet. So inlet is attached to a suction vacuum pump, we will be discussing in the next slide. So with the help of this vacuum pump, the inlet is taking, that is pulling the air from the atmosphere, collecting inside the bag, that is the gas sampling bag. So what happens is, when the bag is completely filled with the air which we are going to sample, then we are taking the air with the help of syringe. So from syringe we will take out the air from this bag, and then we will inject into the gas chromatography system for the analysis of that air which is present inside. So we'll see what is the shape and how it looks. So this bag sampler looks like this. As you can see, it is the inflated one. So here what happens is, the air goes through the valve and a pump is placed inside that bag. That is the bag sampler, also known as lung sampler, because lung is used to collect the air, that is to take the oxygen from the atmosphere and to carry out the respiration process. Similarly, it is also carrying the air from the outside. That's why it is also called as lung sampler. So what are the benefit of this bag sampler? So it is preventing contamination from the pump. So pump is here, so our air particles are not directly contact with the pump, so they are coming through the valve because this pump is taking. So that is the plus point. And main thing is, compounds do not get stuck in the pump. As the pump is having more pressure, so they are not getting stuck through this tube or inside this bag, so they are easily concentrated and collected inside this bag, as you can see. So there is like a briefcase kind of. Then after that, they are exhausted from the exhaust valve when we are going to analyze the analyte. Let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is very important because we are going to discuss on the solvent desorption tubes. So desorption means what? We know adsorption, that means when on the surface these air particles are adsorbed. Desorption means to release the adsorbed substance from surface. So they are attached, the next step is they have to be released because we have to analyze them. That is the technique of desorption. So what are these tubes? So these are the typical picture of the solvent desorption tube. Nowadays thermal desorption tubes are used, but you should know about this also. So here what happens is, we are having adsorbed chemicals or adsorbed material. For example, mostly we are having charcoal, as you can see black color. Charcoal are present inside this sorption tubes, that is desorption tubes. And we will see that here cotton plugs are given. So it is like a thermometer, cotton plugs are given because not to contaminate the air sample. So we'll see how this works. This is very easy, is the working is. So first of all, what you have to do, we have to break the tips of this tube. So we have to break this tip with the help of proper materials which are given along with the desorption tubes, not with the hand. Next is, tube is connected to a sampling pump. So after this is broken, they are collected or connected to the sampling pump. So what this sampling pump will do? So they will suck the air from the atmosphere, and through this desorption tube they will go inside the sampling channel. So first what we have to do, we have to break the glass, and then we have to take out the cotton plug given inside, as you can see in the picture, and then we have to attach this tube to the pump, so that if the air comes from the atmosphere, it will go and adsorb in this charcoal bed, and then we can take out the charcoal bed. So we have to remove the adsorbents are this charcoal bed. Then what we have to do, we have to place this charcoal which will be having the air contaminants in a separated vial. Separated vial means vials are the small glass bottles. So after that, what we have to do, we have to add solvent. So proper and particular solvent are added to those glass container containing these charcoal with the contaminants. Then we have to sonicate the glass bottles, that is vials. So what is sonication? Sonication means giving a particular amount of particular frequency of sound to agitate or shake the amount of contaminant present inside is. So we will give sound energy. So the help of sound energy, the waves will shake or they will stir and mix all the contaminant present in the carbon bed, so that we will be able to get a proper concentrated sample. Next, what we will do, we have to remove and then inject that a liquid. That means the sample within that glass vial, which is having the glass and along with the charcoal and our component, and then we will go for the chromatography technique. That is analysis part we are not discussing, because we are only discussing the techniques for sampling. I hope you are understanding this concept. If you are not, you can ask me in the comment section. Next, we are going to know about air samplers. So there are two kinds of air sampler, that is high and low volume air samplers. So this instrument, we will discuss their picture in the next slide. You should know why they are called high and low volume air sampler. That means they are used to collect the samples of air particles, and the difference is that the amount of air sampled. So obviously high means it will be sampling higher volume of air from the atmosphere. That is, higher volume air sampler is typically having the range of 1500 cubic meter of air over a 24-hour of time, while that low volume air samplers are able to draw or suck only 24 meter cube volume of air from the atmosphere or less than that. So that's the difference between two kinds of sampler. We will see the picture of the sampler. So it is here in front of you. This is the typical diagram of the air sampler. So what we have to do, we have to sample mostly we are sampling suspended particulate matter, that is total suspended particulate matter. We will call it as TSP. So high volume and low volume air sampler is used to collect TSP samples from the atmosphere. The high volume air sampler or low volume, it draws or it sucks the large volume of air through a pre-weighted filter for 24 hours. So what is going on from the atmosphere, we have to keep this instrument we have to keep outside where we are going to analyze the air sample. So it will suck the air from the atmosphere. So here fan is given, motor is present inside, so it will suck the air from the outside. And then what it will do, here filter is present. So what is the work of the filter? So filter will trap all the particulate matter. So filter will be of different size. If you want to analyze for the 2.5 particulate matter, we will have that much of porosity of that much of size of filter paper. If you are going for 10 particulate matter, then we will have that much of filter size. So what we will do, first we have to weigh that filter. So before starting this vacuum pump, we have to measure the weight of that filter paper, and after 24 hours we have to again measure the filter paper. So why it is again measured? It is called as post weight, because for 24 hours the air will be sucked through this air sampler, and we will see that how much of particulate matter is stuck in that filter paper. So we would have taken the pre-weight, then post weight, and we will subtract it, and we will get what amount of air contaminant or air particulate matter is present in the atmosphere for that reason. So this is very simple, I guess. So filter paper, post weight and pre-weight we are taking. Suction is working to suck the air from outside. So I hope you have learned something from this video. If you are having any doubt, you can ask in our Telegram channel. So that's all in this part of the video. I hope you will understand and you want to know more about this. So stay tuned for the further updates. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed till now.